Alright guys, welcome to the 22nd class of, no, 23rd class in the month of May. You're going to look at some other stuff. Now we've shifted from music theory to this. And yes, normal video is on. I am going to stop streaming. And that's there. Biswayan, are you there on the thing? Are you there, Biswayan? Gmeet? Okay. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was the future, not the future, I mean the month of June. What I'm going to do, there is a massive issue that I found other than the one that Daniel mentioned, and I'm just gonna give it a quick listen, and I think you guys will hear it as well. Sure. So I think there's a few things, like I think it's 90% done for sure. All right, 90% done, 100, like all that stuff, and I think the bass drum and the bass guitar, they need to kind of be recalibrated, in my opinion. Because I was listening to it yesterday, and it's just like. Oh, but it started sounding good. Honestly, I know I did, but listen to this. So when I first recorded without the mixing, it sounded great, and then when I started to mix, I was like, oh, that doesn't fit. And then when we're done leveling and EQing, it sounds great again. Yesterday it was something about the drums that like didn't sit well with me. It was something was there. It's like, is this too high? So I think it's high time I need to start recording this thing, the proper start writing the vocals for it, right? But let's look at compressor here. Like first of all, we'll listen to this audio. It's fairly good, but let's try. We'll put a compressor on. All right, so what does a compressor do? Anyone wants to take a guess? Yesterday we talked about threshold, right? Threshold, very simply, determines when the compressor kicks in. All right, Ratio determines how much compression is added once it crosses the threshold. Attack determines how fast the compressor comes in after it crosses the threshold. Release determines after the attack is activated, how long 100 ms right now does it take for the compressor to pull back from that signal, to stop compressing. Alright, gain is very simple, it's like a volume control. So once you start compressing too much, it is going to. So ratio, what it determines, like every 2 dB, I forgot whether I think how much gain reduces to the threshold. So after it crosses the threshold, I think it reduces for every 2 dB, it reduces 1 dB. So we do this to make it sound tighter, like because there will be less variation. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make the attack come from, because it's like doon doon da doon doon da doon doon, right? So it's like this. Again, put a gain at 1 dB. So listen to this. So you hear the volume dip, like here. Right? So I'm gonna bypass it. So that part is super quiet. Does anyone realize that? Listen to this. Does anyone that like last high part? Listen, like pay very close attention. Right? So now the thing is, technically, I can visually go here, do automate. Yeah, exactly, the highest note. Exactly. Why is it not audible? Because it's cutting through the mix. That's not an issue. It is the volume is dipping because it is a high note. Maybe while playing, we also do this psychologically to ourselves. Like while playing, we'll play it like that, right? So, but why do we need a compressor here? Here, because I can also put what you say this automated. But how many times will I automate it? I'll have to be very minute. So don't think this is equivalent of automation. Okay, let's just make that clear. So it's a very small thing, but we need that perfection in our performance. Nobody in real life is going to play that perfectly, right? Not all the time. That is why even players use compressors and all these things. And if you look at a live band, they use multitudes of effects. Multitudes. No professional player out there is playing without effects. So this is not cheating. If you want, this is for you to use. Now the difference is not that much. You can hear that clear. Dung, 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 dung. Alright? You see how that dips, and if you notice very, very carefully, there is a slight volume that is being lost with every hit. So it feels more groovy in the sense you can feel the note going like there's the note, it goes away, then it comes back, then it goes away. Alright, now let's turn it on. So now it feels a bit more tighter, because the player, it feels as if the player is making no mistake with their playing. Is it registering what I'm saying? On a micro level, because we can't automate this. We can't automate a volume to, we can automate this, but look at the time. And this is one take. How are you going to sit down and do for everything? So we just need to find a general setting, which is this. So you see there that blip, right? It obviously is massive because it is at that high note. But with this thing, it sounds much more tighter. Let's do a bypass. Do you guys hear the difference? It's all about levels, man. The compressor is again all about levels. It's just your ability to listen to it. Only thing I want to make sure is that the volume remains the same when I'm bypassing it and not bypassing it. Maybe half a dB. Let's try with half a dB of gain. 0.0. Oh, right. Sorry. What I wanted to try was I'm gonna make this ratio go 6. Okay, that's all. It sounds muddier for some reason. So let's come back to 2 only. I don't think there is a major difference in level, in my opinion, but we added that compressor. So now this is a leveling issue. This is a leveling issue. When you hear that difference, volume difference, it goes from then it becomes louder eventually, right? So this is a volume issue. This you can automate, but you cannot automate this part. Everyone following, everyone understanding this? Now 80% of the mix is done, but we are just trying to make those minute things come together. Sumit, understood? Ashish, do you understand? So that is how you use the compressor. It's not necessary that you put compressor everywhere. For example, this was an issue, so I'll figure this out. I need to re-record everything. Okay, it'll come with time, but you understood leveling and EQ. That is the most important part. So now what I want to do is, now that I've added that little bit of compressor there, I'm just going to add. Let's listen for volume dips. You hear that dong da 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 da. Do you hear that? Listen to this. It's going down. This. Do you guys hear that? Like you literally down. So now compressor can help me. Oh, that's nice. It doesn't. Yeah, we didn't use that much at all in this thing, right? So attack. Let's make it. I make the release slow. Now let's see if you can hear how tight it sounds without this. I'm gonna give it a little attack to come a bit late. Now this is how it comes in. Not bad. Now let's listen to it. You know what? Let's listen from here. Okay, that's a bit too aggressive. Oh yeah, because it's doing a 8 dB, that thing. Right, sorry. No, that's still better. Right, and now let's bypass it. I'll give you for reference. So after the 3 hits, like down, you'll hear the thing come down. See, it's going down. right? And now with the compressor, stays there, stays there. It's not as aggressive. It stays there longer, right? And if, as you can imagine, if I make the release even more late, the levels will come down very, very late. See, it stays there longer. Right, and of course when there is no signal, then it is going to drop, fade away. So let's hear this. All right. Dropped 1 dB, man. Let's push it up by 1 dB. It's a very small thing to do, but if you can control the bass with that compressor and everything, it just makes it a little bit tighter. Now it might be placebo here, we've put a compressor and now it's sounding good, but you know, it's that small thing. You listen to it and then you want that tightness. The drum part, actually it's not too heavy, it's like it's the same drum part, but I think with a little bit added in the end. Like I'm complimenting my own work, but it's like appreciate the simpleness. Best part is compressor is already applied. So now what I wanted to do was, I just wanted to sit and listen very closely to turn the maximizer off and to the guitar part of this thing, man, of our reference. So I think there is a lot of this thing where a lot of EQ and playing between the vocals, like this chorus and this part. And when I listen to the reference and I listen to the drums, the snare and everything, they sound too high. And I think that high stuff needs to go away from the drums and then be given to the guitar or the vocals, which I think is the guitar if I have to. So this thing, that's happening. So what I don't get is like, why is it like this loud? The compressor is there, so this has to come down this one. I'm gonna give it to snare also. I'm gonna solo snare, trans also, and reverb also. What just happened here? Hurry. I want this. And I want the opposite. Yeah, thank you. You hear that highness? And that, for some reason, that feels more impactful. Okay, listen to this. Actually, without this, if you can. And you hear that the snare being like it's piercing in your ears. That's a nice thing. So let's just. And I think on the second hit it's just going too loud, man. Kick, no, compressor, it's going to compressor, but there is this thing. If you listen to just the kick, I think with the bass it's fine. It's just doing something so weird. Like you see that EQ curve, so it goes down here, then it comes back up, right? So instead of this, let me try this normal stuff. But why is it like that? Right, you'll hear it now when I let go of this EQ bell curve, right? Listen to this. It's like slapping. Somebody's like slapping the kick drum. Now with this. Does that make sense? Like it's a very minor thing, but listen to this. Do you guys hear that? In the bass, in the kick. But with this, Does it make sense? Now let's listen to it. Let's go in mono again. Okay, Daniel, what do you think of the drum guitars now? Like, is it a little bit better? Right, much smoother. Yeah, I thought so too, because you said it once and I was like, okay, I'll check. And then when you said it for the second time, then I was like, no, you're on to something. Because see, it's the same thing with the bass, but the opposite. So what I mean by that being opposite is, we did it and at first we like, oh, we don't know. So I said I'm gonna change it. Then we did the whole leveling and EQ, and then it was like, okay, it sounds. One of the reasons I would have just left it if Daniel hadn't mentioned it is because of air fatigue. Alright, air fatigue happens to here also, in mental space also, because in my mind I was like, oh, it's done, so I'm not going to look for a problem when I don't even know it exists. But Daniel saw that, like, oh, it's not like and I think, Daniel, you compared to the reference also, if I'm not wrong. If you listen to the reference, there's still much more on that thing, man. They're quite still much smoother in reference. They're barely existing, and I'm a little scared to push it in that. But You know what? Hmm. Right, but they're much smoother now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna push it to 75, 77 here, and 77 here. Right, and what I'm gonna check is for just for these two to make sure they're sounding the same. Why do I want them to pan farther away? Is because I think that's what the reference is doing. All right, now let's listen to it. Now let's listen to it stereo. Oh, what is a good panning limit while double tracking? So you have to kind of. So I'll be very honest. So when you do it with the reference, you're seeing how flush they're sitting, like they're like in their place somehow. So if you make it go further left or right, the more they'll find their extreme ends, right? That is why I was so keen on like trying that out, because they were at a 50 or something, but now let's try 75. It would be nice. So I think that is too much. Yeah, sure. Panning, you can't hear it on Discord, Ashish, because it doesn't allow me to do that thing. But panning is essentially putting a sound to left or to the right of the headphone. It's as simple as that. But when you apply leveling and EQ and all then these things start to become very important. So when you listen to the recording at around 32, like 33 minutes, right? Uh, so it depends on the composition, the quality, and how 100%, 100%, man, 100%. So that is why we do it in mono. The reason we mix and start leveling in mono is because mono gives us a very good starting point, right? You have to realize that Superior Drummer 3, right? If you just listen to just my drums, they are panned perfectly. Like that's how the general panning is. Kick is in the middle, snare is a little on the left or the right, and the hi-hat is either on the completely left or completely right, and two cymbals are completely it is not free, unfortunately. But what the reason I use it, I'm going to be very honest. The reason I use this is because I have full control over the composition. If you remember, I wrote the whole drums and everything. So this whole part is written by me, right? So I have full like ability to alter that. Second, if I were to not use Superior Drummer 3, man, it's gonna take me way longer than 1 month. Like I mean, uh, like with this 1 month, I mean like I'm explaining things to you. So if I had to do every routing, everything over and over again, it would be a nightmare. Like it just I can't do it for every project, man, because drums are so complicated. Way longer, man. So right now I feel like okay, at least I'm at a point where if I just write the damn lyrics, I'll have the song ready at my point of like at least it is 100% at demo level. Don't worry about it. It is 100% at a demo level already, way beyond demo, I would say, because we already and we're adding the compression and all that stuff, and doing this for the drums is just going to be a hassle. So if you are going to like even if you're going to work with a real drummer, I would still suggest working with virtual instrument. It just saves time, man. It just saves time. Make the real drummer write the parts, but do the mixing on the this virtual drums. They just save time. Drums are too loud in my opinion. Let's just do a reference, and the whole drummer takes no offense. I mean, there is no, see this. I have a friend who's from Pune. He's an amazing drummer, man, but he's not shifted to the digital medium. And the thing is, if you ask a drummer, let's say, okay, Phoenix, you're making a song in Bangalore. Ashish, you're making a song in Pune, and Sumit, I forgot, where are you from again? So let's say Phoenix and Jay are making a song in Bangalore. Ashish is making a song in this thing, Delhi. So Sumit is from Delhi. All right. Then Sumit wants drums for his. Okay, you're from Bihar, but you're living in Delhi. So you all three want a drummer, and you go to your local thing, like a place and everything. So reason drummers are so like, if you first of all you have to pay the drummer for the studio session. Let's say he's your friend, or and he'll do it for free. Luckily, number two thing is getting the kit from his place to the studio. Another issue. Second, third issue, the quality of the drum set. Drum sets are not cheap. They go in lakhs and lakhs. They're probably one of the most hardest piece of instrument to own in India. I'm not joking. They're big, they're loud. Where will you find the space? So it's really hard to find good drummers. But even if you do find someone like that, the thing is the quality you will achieve with recording it manually. You need to have a studio that is acoustically treated, everything. So it just, with drums is just like so many problems. Guitar, plug it in, record it in VST, put a bias on it or some other effects, done. Right? So you have, especially with drums, you have to shift to virtual instrument if you want to produce music on a daily basis. If you are at a point where you can pay a drummer, pay the studio to have a drummer, and have really good quality at the same time from the thing, it's gonna make a difference. But I'll tell you something, the difference is gonna be this much, this minute. It's gonna be this much. I am telling you, nobody cares whether it's a real drummer or it's a fake drummer. Nobody cares. And the thing is, if nobody is going to care, why are you going to put so much effort into it? So everyday drummer, like you, especially drummers, I was talking about my friend, they have to catch up with the times. They have to catch up with the times. There is no way for them to survive other than to do that. Imagine if you were a drummer and I told you, well, with basic knowledge of, well, how it works, I can replicate a drummer in my studio, and I am. And I just changed the EQ on the bass, the kick and the snare, and it sounds much better. And now we're just gonna look at. Man, that is flush. Something up. Yeah, right. I know, I definitely feel it. So that is something that you're completely, even with this guitar in the pre-chorus, the entry is wrong on the guitar. But if you can focus from here. Such almost took 2 dB of the drums, right? So it's like, I'm just having a very hard time like listening to that reference, then coming back, and my thing is not as good. Listen to how light that snare is. Like, listen to that. but the cymbals are way too loud. You're right. You're right, and that is something I really want to push, because this is a quite a hard mix to achieve, man. Ugh. So what I want to do is I'm gonna turn the. It's a very tough mix to achieve. If you listen to just this. Oh, sorry. It's like you can barely hear. So it's like let's take our chorus, vocal chorus, man. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. This is just for the sake of reference. All right. Turn the maximizer off. So definitely louder. So I'll turn the maximizer off. Right, I'm just trying to do something here. Let me find that sweet spot. Just when it kicks in, how much of it? Same stuff. So this thing is that the closer it gets to the right. So the closer it gets, the louder it will make it. So in the end, do you guys remember where it was at? I think it was at 8. Right. So what I want is I want to set the maximizer for now. Right. So the more it comes into, the more it's going to push. So this is where it wants to reach the ceiling. Right. So I need a little bit more. So I'll make this go 9 dB. Right. Just something I want to try. This is going to be tough because there's a lot of button pressing and it's in pre-chorus. Sorry for this. It's probably at 10. Nope, it's at 9. It's at 8, right? So let's make it -8 for now. And now what I'm gonna do, this is risky, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna listen. And now let's listen to the reference. Oh. They leveled perfectly. I think it was just flush, like to the completely to the left and the completely to the right. It's 7:01. Right. So does anyone understand what we're trying to do? So I'm gonna say this. In the month of June, right? Tomorrow we have a review. We're gonna continue working on this, and I'll start doing very easy composition, man. Like very easy. Okay. It's not I won't do it. I'm gonna make it very easy, very easy. Matlab something that it's gonna be an instrumental. Okay, just random instrumental, guys. So hopefully you'll give me a little bit of slack there. But I want to continue doing this. Okay, I want to continue doing this because I really want to achieve that perfect thing with this because this is a very hard thing to match, and it's gonna like. But I think we're getting closer. I think this is a much better balance if you listen closely. If you listen very closely, like if you like even with the bass and the like, so we did a little bit of snare and the bass, like, and we're doing a lot of referencing now. Listen to this. Yeah. It is loud. It is loud. So this is something we need to work on, man. I really think there's a lot of hope for this song. Right? So hopefully I'm gonna take it easy in the month of June for my composition, right? And focus again back to songwriting and Ashish. Yes, from now on, every Wednesday, I'm sure once it's yeah, that's the thing. That's the only reason I want to take some time, man. Because at the end of the day, yes, there is a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I think I just want a really nice song because tough reference. It's old too, so it's not like new. It's very old. So I think we'll just take some time and we'll just do that. Okay. And month of June is going to be easy. Any questions? I'm going to stop recording.